You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys, the state of Maine has made it pretty clear. They are going to be very, very defiant. They're going to continue to let males play in female sports. They're going to violate Title IX. They don't care. One would actually think it would actually be California that wants to down this hill. No, Maine is hell-bent on dying on this hill, folks, because they sent a defiant letter to the Office of Civil Rights in the Trump administration. They're not backing down. And I do believe that Maine is going to get referred to the Department of Justice, and the next steps need to be taken. Every single dollar needs to be wiped out from the federal government, and Maine shouldn't get a single dime. In other words, guys, the federal government shouldn't give Maine a red cent. They should get nothing. Absolutely nothing, man. They are violating the law, and they don't care. They don't care. I know that Maine is a blue state, but even Democrat voters don't want males in female sports. 70% of Democrats don't want males in female sports. This is a losing issue for the Democrats, but they don't really care. They don't care. Women, you women that continue to vote Democrat, the Democrats hate you. They hate your guts. They want males to invade your spaces and invade your sports. So what you going to do about that? Are you going to continue to vote Democrat? Martina Navratilova? I mean, you always are calling out the Democrats, man, for not keeping men out in women's sports. But to be honest, why should they? You continue to vote for them. And that's a major problem, Martina. You're an all-time great tennis player. If you actually had to play against Pete Sampras, you would get crushed. If Pete Sampras decided, you know what, I actually feel like I'm a woman and play on the women's tour, he would have crushed you, Steffi Graf, Chris Everett, Martina Navratilova. You guys wouldn't have stood a chance against Pete Sampras. But let's go ahead and get into this. Right over here. Maine will not sign Title IX resolution agreement with Department of Education. Yes, they are refusing. This is a losing issue for them, man. A losing issue. Look here, it says, according to WMTW, the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights asked the Maine Department of Education to issue a directive banning transgender athletes from competing in women's sports. And guess what they said? They said no. Because Maine's Attorney General, man, he put out a letter to the Office of Civil Rights. He said, no, we're going to continue to let the males, play in women's sports. Yeah, it does say here that the case is now being referred to the Department of Justice. Yes. And I believe that people should actually really be put in handcuffs. Yeah. Look here. It says, quote, the Education Department has given Maine every opportunity to come into compliance with Title IX, but the state's leaders have stubbornly refused to do so, choosing instead to prioritize an extremist ideology agenda over their student safety, privacy, and dignity. A statement from Acting Assistant Secretary for Civil Rights Craig Traynor reads, quote, the Maine Department of Education will now have to defend its discriminatory practices before a department, administrative law judge, and in federal court against the Justice Department. Yeah. According to WMTW, the DOE is expected to try to stop funding for K through 12 from going to Maine. Yeah, right over here too, by the way, Lives TikTok actually puts this out. Maine Attorney General Aaron Frey sent a letter to the Trump administration affirming that they will continue allowing males to invade female sports. All funding to Maine should be cut immediately. Yes, this is Aaron Frey right here. And this is the letter that was actually put out right here, guys. Look here. It says here, response to impasse letter, directed investigations, some numbers, Maine Department of Education. Regional Director Burke. The Maine Department of Education and the Maine Office of the Attorney General have reviewed the draft resolution agreement and your impasse letter dated March 31st, 2025. We will not sign the resolution agreement, and we do not have revisions to counter propose. We agree that we are at an impasse. Nothing in Title IX or its implementing regulations prohibit schools from allowing transgender girls and women to participate on girls and women's sports teams. Your letter to date did not cite a single case that so holds. To the contrary, various federal courts have held that Title IX or the Equal Protection Clause requires schools to allow such participation. Wow. They don't care. They don't care, folks. They do not care. And that was from Sarah A. Forrester, Assistant Attorney General. Yeah, Aaron Frey is the Attorney General. And they're saying nothing in Title IX says that males can't play in female sports. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Look at Nancy Mace. This is what Nancy Mace put out. This is an inclusion. And by the way, Nancy Mace, Republican in the House, she is the one that actually stopped a transgender House rep from Delaware from using the female restroom. Yeah, Democrats want to down that hill. They still do. But she puts out, this isn't inclusion, it's exclusion. Maine is sidelining women to appease woke ideology. Women's sports should be for women, period. Aaron Frey is sacrificing girls for woke points. Yeah, exactly. She is exactly right, man. But Maine, go right ahead. You're about to find out. You want to play these games, man. I mean, Maine, someone really, really does need to be severely punished. I'm dead serious, guys. Someone seriously needs to be punished in the state of Maine. They're doing everything in their power to not protect the girls. I mean, guys, when you actually send your kids to school, the teachers, the administrators, the coaches, they're supposed to be looking out for the students, for the girls. Boys should not be in female spaces. They shouldn't be in the restrooms. They shouldn't be in the showers. Can you guys imagine, man, a transgender athlete in a shower with girls after practice? That's just pure insanity. That is crazy. But these Democrats, man, that's what they want. They want this. Man, someone needs to go to prison. Just that simple. Gonna leave right there, guys. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.